Okay, so let's divide some polynomials using synthetic division. So one thing to know about synthetic division is you can only use it when the denominator has a power of 1. So here this would work because x is raised to the power of 1. But let's say this was instead x to the 2 plus 7. This would not work because you see how x is raised to the power 2? So we cannot do this. But if this was, let's say, x plus 9, this would work because we have a power of 1 right here, 1 right here. So this would work and this would not. So you can only use it when it has a power of 1. Okay, so let's actually solve the problem now. So what we're first going to do is take the denominator. So we're going to take this denominator, x minus 4, and set it equal to 0. And now we're just going to solve for x, so add 4 on both sides. So now we have x equals 4. Now what we're going to do with this number is first we're going to draw 2 lines here. And we're going to put 4 here because that's what we found was equal to x in the denominator. And what we're going to do here in this space is we're going to look at the numerator and just take the coefficients. So the coefficient of x squared is 1 because there's nothing there. So we're just going to write 1. And then the coefficient of x is negative 3. So we're just going to write negative 3 here. And then 6 is just by itself, so we're just going to write 6. And now what we're going to do next is we're going to take this number over here, and we're just going to put it down here. Do nothing, just put it down here. Now the next thing we're going to do is take this number that we found from setting the denominator equal to 0. We're going to multiply this number by this, and then we write it here. So we get 4. And now we take this number here, negative 3, and add it to 4. And now we get 1. So you just add these two numbers here. And then now we do the same thing. You multiply 4 by this number here. So we get 4. And now we add the two numbers again. 6 plus 4 is 10. Now, I like to draw a little box here to separate it. To say that this last number here is the remainder. I'm just going to say this is equal to r of x to say the remainder. And these two numbers are what's going to be the coefficient for the quotient. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this 1 and then we're going to put it here. And then what we're going to take with this is now we're going to attach x to the power 1 with it. So x to the power 1 is just x, and now we add them. So you see how here this number didn't get an x, but this second number did. So it goes like this. This becomes remainder. You skip this number when it comes to giving an x, and then this first number here is what becomes x. So this becomes q of x. And then r of x is 10. Okay, so let's do another problem here. We have 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 3x minus 2 divided by 2x plus 1. So there's a little something different we have to do at the very end, but for now let's use the same strategy. So let's take the denominator and let's set it equal to 0. So 2x plus 1 equals 0. So this is just going to equal x equals negative 1 over 2. And now let's do the same thing. So let's draw the two lines. Now we have the coefficient is 2, and then we have 3, and then negative 3, and negative 2. And then let's put negative 1 over 2. And let's put this number down. Let's bring this 2. And 2 times negative 1 over 2 is negative 1. And 3 minus 1 is 2. And again, 2 times negative 1 over 2 is negative 1. And then negative 3 minus 1 is negative 4. So that means negative 4 times negative 1 over 2 is 2. And then negative 2 plus 2 is 0. And now, so this means that 0 is the remainder, and this is going to be our quotient. So we have negative 4, and this is not going to receive anything, and this is going to have x now. So 2x, and then this 2 is going to have x squared. So 2x squared, and then plus. So this is not our quotient yet, because since this number here is a fraction and it's not a whole number, we have to take the denominator and divide it by this. So since the denominator here is 2, we just take that 2 and bring it here. And then this is our new quotient. So q of x equals, so 2 divided by 2 is x, is just 1, so x squared. And then 2 divided by 2 is 1 again, so plus x. And negative 4 divided by 2 is minus 2. And then r of x is 0. So the only thing that we did differently is because this number here, which we got from here, is not a whole number, which is 2, we just take the denominator of this and divide it by the entire thing. And it doesn't matter if it's negative, you just take the positive number. So you just divide by the denominator and that becomes your new quotient. Okay, so question 3, we have 2x cubed plus 7x squared plus 10x plus 15 divided by x plus 2. So this time, we don't have to do any division at the end because this will become a whole number. So let's just find out what that is. So x plus 2 equals 0. And then subtract 2 both sides, you'll get x equals negative 2. Now, we'll draw the 2 lines, and we'll have 2, 7, 10, and 15. And then here we'll have negative 2. So we'll bring this down first, so we have 2. And then 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And then we add these, so 7 minus 4 is 3. And then we multiply this, so negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And then 10 minus 6 is 4. And then 4 times 2 is negative 8. So 15 minus 8 is 7. So now this is the remainder and this is our quotient. So q of x, this is going to have x squared, so 2x squared, plus this is going to have x, so 3x. And this is not going to have anything, so plus 4. And then our remainder, r of x, equals 7. So this is our final answer. The quotient is 2x squared plus 3x plus 4, and our remainder is 7.